As you know well, most children and adolescents are involved in some sport during their primary and secondary school years. Many of the sports require significant body contact and potentially physically threatening injury that causes short or long-term negative results. Among the most common injuries are those involving the head and neck, especially the teeth. Many of these injuries could be prevented by wearing properly made and fitted mouth guards. Most of them aren't fitted. You'll soon find that out. Of course, parents want to protect their children from injury, but many do not know the best ways to prevent injury to the mouth and the jaws and the teeth. And they're in that time of life, as all of us have been, when conserving family funds is a major goal. Therefore, there's a great tendency to purchase inexpensive mouth guards thinking that these protective devices are adequate. They're not. Look at the happy face on this young man in spite of having already lost a front tooth. Would you deprive your child from participation in the sport of his or her choice? All of us have been educated about the necessary psychological and physical advantages of physical education and activity while the kid is in school. However, dental experts advise us that about 80% of mouth guards are ineffective and in fact may be more dangerous than not wearing a mouth guard. Think that one over. How would you like that girl's racket to hit your face? Obviously, the possibility for injury is very high. You undoubtedly know that accidents and injuries during sporting activities are extremely common. I'm sure you have visions of a kid on the football field or a boy on the basketball field with an elbow in his mouth. You may have purchased a mouth guard from a sports store thinking it was adequate, but the possibility of it being adequate is very low. Let's analyze the cost of simple mouth injuries. The lowest cost to repair this one-tooth injury is at least the cost of a laptop computer. And depending on whether or not the nerve is injured, the cost could be as high as the most expensive laptop computer you can buy, and it will have to be replaced in a few years. Look at this injury to 3 teeth. Doesn't look like much, is it? Again, depending on the damage to the tooth nerves and the potential need for root canal treatment, repair of this injury would cost as much as a small used car. As with all oral restorative treatment, the patient will require redoing of the restoration, just like soles on your shoes or tires on your car. They wear out, and in a few years, they'll have to be done again. The eventual long-term total cost could be about the same as a typical new car in the USA. I doubt if you knew that most popular store-bought mouth guards do not fit the teeth and jaws well. They're obviously generic in shape and only roughly fit all sizes. The result is that when the athlete receives a blow, the mouth guard is forced backward into the mouth, hitting only one or a couple of teeth because it doesn't really fit the teeth and often breaking them. Additionally, the athlete has to hold the guard in place by biting on it. Think about that while you're playing the game. Not good. And it eventually wears through, thus requiring replacement. You probably thought that a mouth guard was a mouth guard. You go to a sporting goods store, you buy one for a little bit of money. Some sports require a mouth guard, and most parents or young athletes just go to the sports store and just buy one thinking it's adequate. I'm sorry to tell you that store-bought mouth guards are probably not adequate, and they may even be, as I said before, dangerous. What are the different types of mouth guards and their relative effectiveness? Let's look for a moment. There are at least 4 major types of mouth guards. See if you can identify which type you have. Stock mouth guards are usually bought in a sporting goods store or a department store or any kind of store. Boil and bite mouth guard is also bought in such stores. Custom-made vacuum-formed mouth guards, usually made by a dentist, and then another type of custom-made pressure-formed mouth guard provided by a dentist. The following information I'm going to discuss will differentiate these types for you so you can tell which type the athlete in your family is using. Stock mouthguards are available in many types of stores. They're available in several sizes, usually small, medium, and large, as you might expect. Obviously, these guards are not fit at all. They're held in place by biting, and a blow forces the guard to hit only one or two teeth, as I said before, with the entire force of the blow. They may fit on one or both dental arches, as you can see. That's a double whammy. These are the least expensive and least protective mouthguards. I'll bet you may have one. They're bulky and have no retention to teeth. And a very interesting fact, dental and medical experts recommend that these types of mouthguards should not be used. Boil and bite mouthguards are the most commonly used type of mouthguard, estimated to be worn by 90% of mouthguard users. That's amazing to me because they are quite deficient. The material softens by boiling in water and attempting to adapt to the teeth with the tongue and the fingers. These guards produce a false sense of protection, as you might expect. They're often modified by their wearers, further reducing their effectiveness. The weaknesses of the boil and bite mouthguards are easily identified. Boil and bite mouthguards have poor fit, pretty obviously. And even though they might fit slightly right at first, as soon as the body warms that material up, they don't fit well at all. They're bulky. They can't be customized well. They are available only in limited sizes. Their thickness is not predictable because the kid's going to chew through it and make it very thin or thick in some other place. Their use should be discouraged because of their lack of effectiveness. Most dentists have a device to make these types of mouthguards in their offices, and most dentists would consider them to be partially adequate. In our opinion, scientifically, they're just a slight step above the deficient ones you've just observed. As you observe the image, you'll note that the yellow plastic material on the bottom model doesn't fit the plaster model well due to the insufficient vacuum that was placed on it during the time the plastic was put over that model. Although these vacuum-formed mouthguards are somewhat better, not much, than stock or boil and bite mouthguards, they're still significantly more adequate methods that we're going to describe. Now, the mouthguard you just saw was made by vacuum pulling a soft plastic material down over a model, a stone model. The pressure device showing here provides up to 5 times more force on the mouthguard material than the vacuum one does, and it fits perfectly to the plaster model. Look at the image and you'll see the upper is the model and the lower is the actual plastic adapted to the model. They both look the same because it does fit those teeth very well. Note how the yellow mouthguard material adapts to the lower plaster model almost exactly. These are either made in the dentist's office or in a dental laboratory as prescribed by the dentist. They're far better than the other types we have discussed. What have I really said to you? Let's summarize it briefly. Treatment alternatives: get the mouthguards made by a dentist, and we have emphasized the pressure-made one. What is the advantage? Your child will have fewer accidents, fewer broken teeth, broken jaws, and less chance for a concussion. The disadvantage of the lower-level mouthguard is very clear, just more accidents. The pressure-formed ones cost somewhat more, but in the long run, if your child breaks something, the cost is insignificant. The risk of the lower-level mouthguards is very clear. They're inadequate. And what happens if you don't get any kind of mouthguard? You know very well. The chance of an accident is extremely high. I don't have to tell you, sports accidents happen very frequently. They're destructive and expensive. I suggest that you consult with your dentist or hygienist about custom mouthguards. Expect to pay more than for a store-bought mouthguard, but expect significantly better protection for the athlete.